Right, I brought this little guy home 2 days ago. He was, hi there. One of the strays in our neighborhood had kittens, and I took him in. I don't know if I'm gonna keep him. I might just foster him for the animal shelter in town. I just wanted to make sure he got a home. And are you trying to escape, little buddy? What's going on, little buddy? No, I don't know if I'm gonna keep him. I might. I'm still not sure. I still haven't settled on a name. You know, he's cute. I haven't introduced him to our grown cat, Francis. I don't know how he's gonna react to this guy. Right, hey there. So it is Saturday. You can probably hear the little kitty messing around back there. I am gonna do some writing. I am just over 19,000 words into Unity House, so almost halfway there. I am gonna hit hopefully 20,000 words this weekend. So I'm just gonna get to it. It's honestly been a little tough recently, but I think sometimes you just have to power through as a writer when you know it's not you know what you're writing isn't good, but you just need to get it on the page. And I view it as like planting seeds. Like the George R. R. Martin quote, some writers are good gardeners. I'm a gardener, definitely. Okay, so it is Monday. I wrote 145 words this morning. I have honestly felt pretty crappy all day. I woke up with a headache that carried over from yesterday, but I am going to try to write at least 200 to 300 words right now. Um, I'm closing in on 20,000, so that's still not halfway done, but it's, I'm chipping away at it. It's getting there. So wish me luck. $472 words today for a grand total of 19,880. Tomorrow we get to 20,000. All right, so I have really not been in a mood to write much in the last few days. I just haven't been in a good mental space, but I have passed 20,000 words
on my novel Unity House, so that is really great. I am, I think, in maybe less than 2 weeks, I could be at the halfway point. I am not where I hope to be in terms of word count at this point, but I am making progress. Um, Last week, I had a meeting with my writing group where I submitted another story that got some good feedback. Uh, but I think today I'm just gonna do some writing, maybe some illustrating. So I did try to read the fifth season. This has been on my shelf since 2019. 5 years. I figured I should finally read this. I got about 200 pages in before I just had to stop. Like, everyone who's read this has told me that this is the science fiction book of this era of literature, and I was not that impressed by it. It started off when with the prologue just describing the world that was really interesting, but as we got deeper into the actual story, I just found it kind of tedious. The writing, the prose is not great. It just feels hit or miss. There are some well constructed passages, but there's just kind of something very. There's something about the way the characters talk and the way the narrator speaks that just took me out of this because it just feels too much like how people talk in the real world. And with this being a fantasy book, that took me out of it. It was just a little abrasive. Um, the characters I didn't really like. There was. They just weren't enjoyable. They were not. Like, they weren't very sympathetic. They just didn't come off as very likable people. Didn't really have much personality. And honestly, the world building in this, I was not too impressed by. Like, there's this group of people who can control earthquakes, and it's just not really. I was a little confused as to what their role in this world is, because there's like this academy where they can go and train and learn to control their abilities, and then they go off and on assignments to help out with things. So sometimes it appears like a prestigious position, but we're also told several times that everyone else hates them. I just wasn't really sure, and there are some parts of it that just feel too similar to the real world. So it just wasn't consistent, and it just felt kind of off putting. So I just don't know if I'm going to continue with this. I may just trade this in at the bookstore here in town. But yeah, I mean, I tried with this. I got halfway through, but one book I did just pick up yesterday was Shogun by James Clavell. This is a pretty old copy. I bought this at a used bookstore when I was in grad school, and I thought I was gonna watch the show on Hulu first. I did watch the first episode of that, and it was pretty good. But I decided no, I want to read the book first, and I read the prologue and the first chapter, and it is pretty good. Though you do a lot of jumping between different characters' heads, but it's not jarring. So far, I'm enjoying this. I think I'm just gonna read the rest of this for the rest of the day. And there is an audiobook I'm listening to called Dead Silence. It's a sci-fi horror. It's about a salvage team that stumbles upon an abandoned cruise ship in space, reminiscent of Aliens. I've been listening to that, and I do like that. So I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day reading, and to close out this video, I'm gonna show you some footage of Cosmo. So thanks for watching, and try not to get murdered. Bye.
Okay. So, those of you wondering about Cosmo's origin story, his mom was one of the feral cats in our neighborhood, and I'd seen them wandering around outside, and people were coming by, and they kept picking up his brothers and sisters. I wasn't sure if I wanted him because we already have a cat who does not like strangers. And we also have another cat called Murphy who comes in and hangs out sometimes. So I didn't know if there was room for another, but I did not like seeing him outside, especially because he is the runt of the litter. But I brought him in, and he has been settling in really nicely. We might be just fostering him, but the more he stays, the more I'm thinking he's gonna be a permanent fixture. So welcome to your new home, Lil Cosmo. So nice to have a new friend. We love you very much.